Hello, my name is Lance. I'm with Unibus. This is an explanation of the PDF that's in this section of COVID, Merv 13, and UV. The first page was a email that I received looking for solutions to a building's issue. And I'm the one that actually put actual Unibus email up on top in blue. All the blue writing below with acronym was mine, and the responses after each bullet point was mine in blue and or red. So a summarization of this 13-page PDF, what was thought to be good practice before yesterday, because I'm going to follow up with some information and I'm going to explain what is going on in this PDF with filters and the UV lighting and what they will not do for you. But really right now, what it looks like is the effective means now is pretty much flushing out your building. The article that came out yesterday is not saying do not continue using clean sanitation practices, but it looks to be now that the most important thing is outside airflow and flushing a building. ASHRAE wrote this article. I underlined in red important items that you need to understand, and I circle certain things in blue, as you see in the rectangle, blue rectangle here. This is ASHRAE, and the next page also has quick go-to notes to understand. They talk about UV, germicidal irradiation, and they also talk about MERV 13, which is now proving to be ineffective in the manufacturer's own words. And then we have Energy Star, who came aboard early. This was sent to me May 26th. The second page is the alarming one. They talk MERV 13. The troubled one is the red box where they say increase your outside air, meaning if you're at 20% outside air, they're saying increase your outside air 50% more. Now you're at 70%. And if you read on, they found that these changes would contribute to roughly 3 to 5% increase in building energy use. Depending on where you're at, if you're in a very mild climate where you really don't need heating or cooling, you could make that claim. But not many buildings are in a situation like that. I'm a CEM, CEA, Certified Energy Manager, Certified Energy Auditor, CRM, Carbon Reduction Manager, certified through AEE, and we have the patents on being able to make equipment as energy efficient as humanly possible. It's through a process that we are training people to do so you can actually flush your buildings out at an extremely cost-effective way. Understand that in the center, the filtration of a MERV 13 is 50% effective at 0.3 micron, and they do not state, the filter manufacturer does not state at what velocity. Please understand that the COVID virus is 0.1 micron, 1/3, 0.1 to 0.125, 1/3 the opening size of a MERV 13 filter. This range 1 is from 0.3 to 1 micron. It's called a bin. Range 2, 1 to 3 micron. And third bin, range 3, is from 3 micron to 10. COVID virus is at 0.1 micron. 1/3 of what their range is at 50% effective. What my concern was, they did not show filter is 50% effective at 0.3 to 1 micron. It doesn't say how much of the 0.3 micron is in that 50%. They just have to combine it in the bin of 0.3 to 1.0. They don't talk about a velocity, and I'm going to explain filtration. Filtration is just a bunch of layer of fibers. It's not square holes, it's not round holes, it's fibers laid over each other. And they engineered it to maintain a 0.3 micron efficiency at some velocity, which they do not mention. And I'm going to explain what velocity does. If you take a bullet in your hand and you throw it at a blanket hanging and try to throw it through your blanket, it'll most likely hit and drop. It will not go through the blanket. If you take the same bullet and now chamber it and shoot it at that blanket, it's not only going to go through that blanket, it's going to go through many blankets. Penetration is all about the velocity of the item. And air handlers maintain a velocity of 500 feet per minute at the cooling coil for water carryover reasons. And what we have here is a situation where the efficiency testing appears to be 200 or less feet per minute. less than half of 500 feet per minute, meaning that a particle is going to easily get trapped at a low velocity, such as 200 or less, but your unit is operating at a velocity of 500. The efficiency is going to be much less when you actually install Merv 13 filters. To what derated value? We have no way of knowing. They would have to do the testing, but it is simply a fact that the velocity of the particle is what makes the effectiveness of the filter. Slow the velocity down, increase the filtration capability. Comes to a point where you can put in a Merv 20, which is really basically a SOPA filter, 0.1 to 0.2 micron, but your units cannot handle driving air and pulling air through a HEPA filter to that level. You still have to maintain 500 feet per minute at your coil. Those filters are only valid around 50 feet per minute for a Merv 20, and you would need a massive bank to still maintain proper airflow through your air handler. So we looked at SOPA up above, the Merv 20. You see where I highlighted Merv 13 from 0.3 to 1.0. And they're stating the 89 to 90%. That's obviously not the fact, because just prior, that is from 3 to 10 micron. Range 3 is 90% equal to or less than. It's misleading here. It appears 0.3 being filtered here, but it's not. That's actually a Merv 16. Again, that's the velocity has a lot to do with that, and we're not trying to catch 0.3 micron. We're trying to catch 1/3 of 0.3 micron. Perspective, again, it's fibers, 0.1 micron going through a 0.3 micron filter capture device, basically taking a ping pong ball and trying to have a standard chain link fence catch it. If you're going to speed up the velocity, now it's having a ping pong ball and throwing it through a kitchen window. It becomes less effective for catching the 0.1 micron COVID virus. UV lighting has turned out to be not capable of doing what they needed to do. This is published June of 2020. And what they're stating basically is you need additional energy to stop the COVID virus. Killing the COVID virus with UV needs the intensity of the bulb. The distance from the bulb has a lot to do with it, and the distance going by the bulb. The higher the velocity, the less exposure the COVID virus has with UV lighting. And again, it's the distance of the UV lighting. The closer you get to the source, the deadlier the UV lighting is to a virus, but they're stating they do not even have a UV system that can do this. RGF, Ficel, I commend them. They clearly state they're positive in their mindset about UV and killing COVID-19, but they clearly state in here that technology has not been tested, even down below. Ficel and Remihalo technology has not been tested on coronavirus and is not a medical device, therefore no medical claims are made. That's a very safe legal thing to do. Our patents are absolutely capable of flushing a building much more effectively and efficiently, energy-wise, than any standard method ever done prior. It's done quickly and, again, extremely effective. When you get your building flushed out proper, we provide a plaque stating that your building is infectious COVID compliant through HVAC energy efficient means. We present the plaque providing your systems pass. This article came out yesterday from the New York Times. Yesterday being July 6th. Today is July 7th. I'm going to go through this article and I'm going to pause between each page so you can take the time to read it. I would just pause YouTube and go ahead and read each page for its value. It's a 4-page report. And what they're now saying is primary way to transmit COVID is through aerosol air. This is a collaborative team trying to resolve the issues, and it's going to scare a lot of people. We need to control the dilution in a building, elevate dilution in the building, and we need to do it cost effectively where we don't lose the building in terms of too much outside air and the building gets lost because of higher temperature, lower temperatures, and the comfort is lost. What Unibest and AMP does is it actually trains mechanics all over the world to start doing the work to make buildings become COVID infectious building compliant with their HVAC systems. It's giving confidence to the tenants, to the occupants, that they're walking into a building that is much safer than any other building around. If they see a plaque, they have the confidence to start coming back to the building. Hotels are hit drastic where they're not having anybody come into their hotels and they need to consider increasing their outside air in a cost-effective means. And this process is what we are now promoting. We've been working on this since COVID started. We've converted our energy software into a tandem COVID infectious building compliant piece of software with energy efficiency. This has been a huge task in the last few months. We have the ability to now sign up and start requesting that your building become COVID compliant. We train the contractors. We are going to do it through a webinar. This allows us to see tens of thousands of people and train them in 1 week to start doing the testing and getting your building energy efficient while increasing your outside air and maintaining building comfort. This was published yesterday from the New York Times, July 6, 2020. This article basically states that COVID is passed through aerosol, passed through breathing, passed airborne, which flooding your building with outside air will help replace air changes per hour. It replaces the amount of air that's in your building, X amount of air changes per hour, meaning the building has 10 air changes per hour. It will actually replace the air inside your building 10 times in 1 hour. That is the ability to take any suspended aerosol, bring it up and remove it. It will not catch every particle. Some will get re-entrained, but you'll constantly be diluting your building, minimizing the exposure to the COVID virus. Thank you. If you have any questions, contact me through the office or through our website.